Hello and welcome to Geeks of the Round. I'm your host, Matt Moore, and we are here discussing The Flash, episode 221, known as The Runaway Dinosaur. I almost forgot. Let's introduce the panel. First off, Charles. How are you doing, Charles?
I'm doing great, and I liked the episode. I thought the episode was great, especially that little cameo that happened with the yellow Hummer. Yeah. That's my mom's car!
Oh, there we go. How about you, Lou? What did you think of the episode?
The episode was okay, fun little episode, nothing too big.
Well, I definitely thought it was better than I was expecting. I was expecting yet another episode where Barry's not being Barry to just be, boring, because this would be the third, at least most of this episode, Barry didn't have his powers, which would make it the third and fourth episode in a row where he didn't have his powers.
I have a question.
Sure.
You might be able to answer this.
All right.
Remember when he was having the conversation with the Speed Force, and the Speed Force was telling him, you haven't accepted your powers? Now, if he would have accepted going to see his mother's grave, do you think that would have gave him back his powers? That he was always connected to the Speed Force, but he needed to dive deeper within his soul to figure that out?
No. I honestly think that the Speed Force is a pseudo-intellectual. I don't think that's just it. Is while the version of the Speed Force that the writers are trying to make is supposed to be all mystical and high, mighty, and like all powerful, and basically God, and I mean like the I am the only God, have no other gods before me type of God. I think that the writers are not going to pursue that particular storyline, at least I hope not, far enough to make it to where it is that detailed, that exact. I don't think they're going to go into Barry's mystical journey into his own mind or any shit like that, at least not any more than we've already seen. I really don't. I think now that he's done this vision quest, for lack of a better term, he's going to be more powerful. He's going to be able to do more cool stuff.
He better.
And that's the end of it.
This was a Kevin Smith episode, hands down.
You think so?
Fuck yeah, the stupid zombie.
I did not hear anyone say fuck, shit, piss, make a gay joke. I don't know. It didn't seem very Kevin Smithy to me.
Fuck.
If you want to go
fuck.
That
Motherfuck, noise.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But more of his latest.
Jane Silent Bob Strike Back.
Good for
Go
Jane
on, Lou.
Good for them two movies. It's been so long since I've seen them, I don't remember them. But if you pay attention to his Tusk movie and now Yoga Hosers, this one kind of fit his quirkiness with the fucking the dumb idiot coming back to life as a walker.
Okay, that was a little weird for me. That was. It's just.
And why GotR? I mean, we knew GotR was coming back like weeks and weeks and weeks ago because, I mean, we read the descriptions. But why GotR of all people? I mean, seriously.
So he could go after Iris again? I mean,
what was his reasoning for going after Iris? The only reason why he wanted to go after her in the first place when the episode he was introduced was to get at the Flash or get at Barry. That was the only reason. Beyond that, he had no real reason to go after her.
Look, I heard something today before that this episode honestly could have worked without the villain.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think the Speed Force itself would have been a good enough villain. And that's just it, is as I mentioned last week, the Speed Force at first presents itself as a type of hell, and it kind of did that a little bit in this episode. It's like, nope, you don't get to leave until you catch that. Oh, and by the way, you can't fucking run for shit. Like, you don't have Speed Force in the Speed Force. You run just like a regular human being. and that's a speedster. Good luck catching it. And so it's like it's basically putting him through hell, making him face the most horrific points in his life, or at least two of them. And it's just like, fuck you. Now, of course, overall it did that to make him better, but it's still kind of a dick move.
But I think, like you said, overall it did sort of make him like stronger in the long road. But I don't think the Speed Force is a villain in that way. I think of him as like an educator that uses tough love. Think of it like that.
That's how I looked at it. I didn't look at the Speed Force as the villain. I looked at the Speed Force as the parent that is giving you that tough discipline that the kid doesn't really want to listen to.
Yes.
Until.
So basically, it's a super powerful entity that apparently was there at the beginning and will be there at the end, who uses tough love because it's being a good parent.
If you need it.
Yes.
And
Charles,
in this case,
Charles, you need to replay that particular sentence I just said, and then we'll talk about it later. Sorry, Charles is an atheist, and apparently his camera is frozen because my God smited his video.
Charles is in need of some tough love.
Is it frozen now, fucker? Is it frozen now? Huh?
Yes, it's frozen on your middle finger. There we go.
You see, once again, Charles needs tough love.
Yes.
Oh, fuck off. All right. I did fine on my own. I'm good.
No. See, Charles's definition of tough love is getting back to Penny Dreadful.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
yes, because Penny Dreadful is the shit.
So basically, the Speed Force takes him on this vision quest, has him face not only his family, but also face the scene of his mother's death right after she's died, also face his mother's grave, and et cetera, et cetera.
No, he never went to the grave.
What's that?
He never went to the grave. Not in the Speed Force. He went to the grave after he got back and beat Girder.
No, he went to the grave in the Speed Force. He did. He went to the grave in the Speed Force. It was when he was meeting with the Speed Force, taking the form of his father.
Daddy. Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Yes, that was at. Yeah.
I found that scene useless because I think his father's just useless. But then I found out he wasn't around.
Which father? Are you talking about Speed Force dad or actual dad?
Actual dad.
No.
Okay. Actual dad. You know what? I'm throwing my wild speculation out there right the fuck now. Actual dad is dead next fucking episode. He's not even making it to the finale. That motherfucker is dead next episode.
Well, I'm going to add on to your theory.
What's that?
That, yeah, he might die, not next episode, but the season finale, and he's the one in the Iron Mask on Earth 2. And that he's Jay Garrett of Earth 2.
We'll see. Let me see. We have Cisco and Wells.
I heard today.
To get Barry back. They answered very easily the question that I was banging my head up against a wall at for a while, and that is, how do the good guys know that Barry is still alive? And they answered it like the easiest way possible, and I feel stupid for not realizing that they were going to have Cisco figure it out by touching his costume.
Well, Cisco did it on his own.
That's what I'm saying, is that the writers wrote this seemingly impossible scenario, at least what I thought in my head, of, okay, the good guys know that Barry is still alive, and my question that was just rattling through my brain is, how the fuck would they know? And then they very easily answered it by having Cisco touch his costume, and I'm all like, oh, I'm a dumbass.
Yeah, but see, the only other...
I didn't realize it either until right before Cisco touched it. So I was like, oh, okay, so that's how they're going to do it. Okay.
Yeah, we heard about 2/3 of that. You're breaking up.
Am I?
It was a smart way, but, you know, Barry goes into the Speed Force with no costume, but yet he comes out of the Speed Force with the costume. How's that?
I was so hoping Cisco would say something. I was so hoping that Cisco said, okay, you destroyed a costume, but you brought a costume back. You know what? I'm going to call it a wash. And at one point, Cisco had, like, the costume, and he's just like, petting it, and I'm all like, all right, that's a little creepy. That was just a little weird. I was expecting him to go, I can't believe what you did to my costume. Thankfully, he was mourning Barry, but it really looked like he wanted to fuck that costume. Yeah.
But do you think it would have been more acceptable is that when he came back from the Speed Force that he would be completely nude?
No, he could have came back in some street clothes.
But the thing is that the clothes that he was wearing when he disintegrated was his uniform.
Well, you know what? He should have came back in underwear.
That isn't why he came back in his uniform. The reason he came back in his uniform is because of the fact that anything in the Speed Force is possible. And for leaving, basically he brought something of his own construction that he constructed in his own mind with him. In the Speed Force, if he were to be like, you know what, I would really like a Whopper with cheese, and he turns around and there's a Whopper with cheese and he's holding it, and then he walks through the barrier back to Earth, he will still have that Whopper with cheese. It is something he has constructed from the Speed Force itself.
I want that.
And it is as real as anything else.
I want that part of the Speed Force. Where I
you want to be able to make a Whopper with cheese with minimal effort?
I'm hungry right now. Shit. Tap into the Speed Force for a double Whopper, baby.
But yeah,
I'd much rather have a taco.
At least that is the impression that I was given, is that he created that of his own mind. Or the Speed Force created it for him. And where the line between those two things cross is a little gray. Because obviously the Speed Force is not his parents. Obviously the Speed Force is not now I'm forgetting her name. Is not Iris. That's not the Speed Force. The Speed Force took those forms because those are the images in Barry's head. Those are the people in Barry's life. So where his mind and the Speed Force cross over, there's got to be some crossover there. Or else, how the fuck would they know about his parents' death, about his mom's death?
That is true.
I mean,
sorry.
Like what? The Speed Force gets the LA Times? Like that shit doesn't happen.
Bulletin board. Barry Allen. Mom died.
It's like
Dad incarcerated.
Maybe the Speed Force has a Twitter feed. We don't fucking know, but most likely not.
It keeps up with global events.
Like, oh, okay. So let me see. What else do we want to talk about? Oh, Jesse and Wally. Wally's all like, okay, you're sending me to my room, or you're sending me to the house again. And then they're at the house, and he's all like, all right, you're sending me to my room again. Like, what the fuck? Like, there's no way that Wally is falling for this shit anymore. There's no way.
This is the problem that I have, because I would, in his case, respect my parent, but at the same time, I'd be like, you do realize I'm 18, and I'm in college. You don't send me to my room.
Yeah. Well, that's just it, is...
The theory I'm hearing that Wally will probably get activated when he gets hit with lightning.
Maybe that's the component.
That's why.
And I'm pretty sure Jessie is already activated. I'm pretty sure.
Well, she got activated when Barry brought her back to life. Because remember, when you see his hand touch her, you see the little electricity shock.
Uh huh. So I'm thinking she already has super speed, and she's going to be helping out with what's going on next episode. Now, next episode, basically, presumably, we're dealing with the hundreds of metahumans that we see at the end of this episode.
Oh my God, that was just so cheesy looking.
I thought it was pretty good for a CW show. I wasn't expecting something like Lord of the Rings quality. It was exactly what we would get from a typical CW show.
I'm fine with the whole... the whole bunch of villains, but they just look so cheesy. Like, damn, they just got a bunch of people off the back lot, threw them in some ugly ass shit, and said, "Just wave your hands and say, yeah."
They went to an anime convention right down the street and said, like, "Hey, you guys want to be extras in a TV show?"
You're probably right.
Everybody raise your hand. Yeah.
That would have been.
And knowing Kevin Smith, he actually could do that kind of stuff.
That's true. As a matter of fact, he did do that kind of stuff for a TV show once. He used to. Oh, what was he doing? Basically, he was grabbing random people and watching movies with them and doing reviews or some shit like that. I forgot what the name of that show was, but it didn't last very long. But yeah, he's done shit like that before.
Yeah.
All right, so that was the episode. That was absolutely everything. We covered it all. Was there anything else that we want to talk about? Like, do we want to focus on any particular thing?
Do you want Kevin Smith to come back and direct another episode?
I'd be okay with that. I mean, this wasn't a bad episode.
I thought it was pretty good.
I don't think it was great, but it was pretty good. I'm okay with that.
I mean, he tied it pretty good together. No. I like the use of Jay and the Hummer. That was funny.
That's my mom's car.
No, the fact that he said that's my mom's car is not what was funny. The fact that he said that's my mom's car right after telling a girl that it was his car.
Yeah.
That was funny. She's all like, "Is that your car?" Yeah, baby. And then after that, that's my mom's car. That was the funny part.
The whole thing was it's like that whole cliche of you take your date to a McDonald's.
And they were dressed nice too. It's like, who are you trying to impress at a fucking McDonald's?
Well, no, he was trying to impress at a Belly Burger.
Yeah, Big Belly Burger. That's what it was. All right, fine. Who are you trying to impress at a Big Belly Burger?
And then he's wearing a fucking trench coat, like a pedophile.
Yeah.
Hey, I wear a trench coat.
Well, no, it was actually a full suit. It was the blazer, the tie, the dress shirt, the pants, and he was wearing a trench coat over top of it. That's basically just how the outfit usually is, especially in weather like that.
What weather? It looked kind of nice out with a little bit of rain.
It was rainy and all that kind of stuff. And you don't want to wear a regular suit when you're in the rain. You wear a trench coat over top of it to protect most of the suit.
I don't know. I don't wear suits.
In any case, next week we have everyone versus these various metahumans, and the season finale, at least presumably, we are going to have the Flash versus Zoom again, except this time, most likely Flash will win. However, let's get into wild speculation. Anyone have wild speculation?
I do. It kind of goes off one of your theories, is that you're saying that, what's his name? Henry Allen is going to die probably next episode or the season finale. I think it's going to be likely that... now, my question is that who do you think is going to kill Henry?
Zoom.
Yeah, probably Zoom or...
That's my theory as well, is that I think Henry is going to be killed by Zoom. And Zoom is probably going to kill him in front of Barry. And that's going to basically cause Barry to go on a very brutal rampage.
It's going to awaken the sleeping monster inside of Barry.
Yeah, and I think that's going to lead into a potential arc next season.
Here's my thought on this. Good fucking riddance. I am so fucking tired of Henry Allen. Every time he shows up, he pisses me the fuck off. Like, every time now. Like, when he was in prison, he was a great father. And then he got out of prison and became a dick. Like, a huge waggling dick.
Reason why I kind of felt the same way, but I softened the stance when they pulled his character out of the prison. He was already currently filming other things. He was on a 3-film deal, and he was filming all 3 of those movies. So that's why he wasn't a big focus on the show. That's why he went and became an X-Men. So they wrote him out where he doesn't have the potential to come back to maybe later on.
Yeah. That's just
Let him do his shit.
The actor. The actor's cool. I mean, he played the original Flash, and he's freaking awesome. I hate the character. I have gotten to hate the character. It's because you end up having this guy who's all like, all right, you know what? I haven't been in your life for the past 20 years, and I finally have a chance to be in your life. Thank you very much for that, for allowing me back into your life. I'm going to leave now. So
I got to go film this shit.
With all that you got going on there, I'm out of here. Like, that's
I got to go film these C-list movies because I ain't never going to the big screen.
And then he ends up coming back, and he presumes to fucking try and make decisions. He's all like, "No, don't do this because you're risking your life." Do you
That
not
part I didn't
understand
like.
who your fucking son is? He risks his life literally many, many times a day.
I agree. That part of the story, I felt
You
was
don't,
bullshit.
yeah, you don't presume to fucking make decisions for him. You know when you stopped being able to make decisions for him? When he got you out of jail and you left anyway. At that point, you don't get a vote.
Yep, I agree. But to go on this other theory that I heard, Jesse Quick is going to leave. If she does become the Steve Sir, she'll help Barry beat Zoom, and then she's going to go back to Earth 2, and she'll be the Flash over there. And I think I kind of want Harrison to stay.
Uh-huh.
And since Jesse kind of wants some alone time from Daddy, that she'll convince him to stay on Earth, our Earth, where she goes back to protect Earth 2, but they have a way to get back and forth through a certain breach that they probably only know how to use.
That is a good theory. I like it. I only see one thing that would get in the way of that, and that is our theory about her and Wally. If her and Wally are going to date, they should at least be on the same planet.
Well, they might not date after all, because what's to say Wally doesn't get his speed this season?
We'll see.
I mean, what if they prolong it to next season? I mean, we don't know what they're going to do with Wally. They opened the door.
If Wally does get his speed this season, no matter how unlikely it may be, it's going to be probably within the last 5 minutes of the finale.
Could work.
Yeah.
And then here's something.
That might be something that Barry got. Maybe Barry can. That it's not that he can't not that he has the ability to walk between worlds, but that he has the ability to walk between worlds quite easily. If he can walk between worlds quite easily and bring people with him, maybe he's going to start patrolling 2 different Earths. Maybe that's our next season storyline, is that we're dealing with villains on both Earths.
That becomes too much for one person to handle, even as fast as he is.
Not if there's a Jesse Quick on one side and a Wally West on the other, both powers.
I mean, let's see what happens. And then we didn't touch on it much, but that scene where Iris was reaching out for Barry, that was an homage to Wally West and Linda Park. That's their story from the comics.
Oh, okay.
He would get trapped in the Speed Force a lot, and his way home was always his wife.
Oh, okay. Sure. Learn something new every day. Do we have any other wild speculation?
I heard this one's going to be a little out there. But what if Barry takes Zoom's speed and then throws him in jail?
That would be fucking hilarious. But they'd have to throw him in either Earth 2 jail or within the reactor itself. It couldn't be a regular jail. Or else Zoom would be like, guess who Barry is? Guess who Barry is?
Yeah, okay, that part I agree with. But the fact that he would take all of his Speed Force out of his body, and then throw his ass in fucking jail, be like, you know what, bitch? I got your speed now. You're gonna get locked up, and there ain't nothing you can do about it.
That is actually, while it wasn't the crux of your entire theory, it does bring up an interesting idea. What if basically the Speed Force gave Barry the ability to control the Speed Force and not just utilize it? In other words, what if it gave him the power to give other people the Speed Force, which he can do in the comics temporarily, and take it away from other people?
That's probably something they would want to build up to and teach him, not something that he just gets instantaneously, because then that leaves us with a bunch of questions.
Well, I mean, it's very possible that that's what we just saw with Jesse. Maybe Barry literally gave her a jump start.
I think he gave her the jump start. What brought Barry out of his coma? Wasn't it Iris?
No, it was time.
Well, granted time, but wasn't it like the last time she visited him and he got like a little electric shock on the hand and it kind of started to wake him up?
She wasn't there. It was
wasn't?
the only two people there were Caitlin and Cisco.
Hmm.
Because remember the conversation? What was it? Lightning gave me abs.
Yeah.
That was Caitlin and Cisco.
It's something, dude. I mean, we have Peter Parker. A spider bite makes me strong. Gave me muscles.
But no, Lou, what you were talking about, the whole like electric shock between Iris and Barry, that was how Iris figured out that Barry was the Flash. Because if you remember later in season 1,
Okay.
when the Flash saved Iris, they touched hands, and Iris felt that same shock. And the only other time she felt that was when she touched Barry when he was in his coma. So, yeah, that's how she found out that he was the Flash.
I
Which I
remember
think
the
was
touch
fun.
hand that we-
I know, it's serious. No one? Okay.
No.
Go on.
No.
But that's it, folks. We're out of here.
All right, I want to thank everyone for watching. Check us out at geeksaround.com, youtube.com/geeksaround, or check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, or give us a call at 801-609-4687. That's 801-609-GOTR. Thanks again, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.